7 signs that a relationship is doomed for failure no matter what you do. Unless it's you behaving in these manners, and then you can potentially change your behaviour and make the relationship work. However, more often than not, it's not you that's behaving in these ways, it's the other person that's behaving in these ways to you, but getting you to blame yourself, doubt yourself, and help them, be there for them, support them, with the promises of change that they deliver now and again, just to keep you locked in the dynamics of an extremely toxic relationship. So these are 9 things that a healthy relationship wouldn't involve. So even in a healthy relationship, you can get into disagreements, you can get into debates, you can agree to disagree, you can get stressed, you can come across so many issues in day-to-day life in a healthy relationship. And if there isn't these 9 things involved, the healthy relationship can work through it and survive it. When there's these 9 things involved, it's a toxic relationship that is just going to cause you pain and suffering. There's no long-term gain. So the number one thing in a toxic relationship is when one person is constantly lying. When someone is willing to lie about the small things, they're going to be lying about the bigger things. And over time, having someone lie to you is going to cause that intrigue and curiosity within you. It's going to cause that stress within you. It can cause things such as anger, resentment, and bitterness within you. It's going to cause that mistrust within a relationship. So when they are lying to you, it's going to have a negative impact on your emotional well-being too. Cheating often comes with lying, as they aren't very honest about where they are and who they are with, which again is going to cause that mistrust within you. It's going to cause that intrigue, and those emotions are going to escalate things like resentment and jealousy and bitterness and anger, to which, if you call a narcissistic person out on their behaviour, they're going to accuse you of being angry and jealous and bitter and resentful and having trust issues. And as you're actually feeling those things, you then end up questioning yourself and not the person who is cheating on you. Refusal to compromise. We can all be disagreeable at times. We can all have our belief or our value or our opinion, or we can all want something to happen so badly that we can stand our ground, dig our heels in, and refuse to compromise with another party. However, there isn't usually deception behind it. You might be able to take space from each other and then come back together and communicate when both parties are more comfortable, when both parties are in a better mood. However, you'll find with a narcissistic person, they're only ever going to compromise if things are going their way. When things aren't going their way, they're going to accuse you of being awkward, of being stubborn, of being selfish, so that you change your mind to serve them, which is going to cause emotions such as resentment, bitterness, anger. So you've got one person that's getting everything their own way, and another person with a build-up of emotions that the one who's unwilling to compromise is ever going to support. Instead, they're just going to blame your reactions for their actions. When one partner's highly critical of another, we can end up in any relationships where there is constructive criticism that we might perhaps take the wrong way, which is why that communication is vital to understand each other. get each other's point of view, which a narcissistic person is going to be very unwilling to do. They're going to be critical of you. They're going to seek to put you down. They're going to seek to make you feel like you're not enough. And with all the deception, with all the lying and the cheating and failure to compromise with you, it's going to give you those feelings of not being enough on its own, without them being highly critical and judgmental towards you. 5, a refusal to say sorry. Narcissistic people don't take responsibility for their behaviour. To them, their behaviour is always somebody else's fault, and they're entitled to do as they please. You often find in a narcissistic relationship, you have got one person who refuses to say sorry at all costs, and then you've got another person that says sorry over anything and everything, and things that they don't even need to say sorry for, because they've been conditioned to live full of fear and full of anxiety, and to fawn to the narcissistic person who will not compromise with them. Therefore, anything and everything they are saying sorry to avoid the argument, to avoid the lies, to avoid the silent treatment. You have to be quite mature in order to apologise, because within an apology is sometimes that sense of shame that you have done something wrong, even if it's just a misunderstanding. So by you apologising to them all the time for things you haven't even done, they are getting you to shame yourself, invalidate yourself. As they don't want to feel that shame, they're not going to apologise to you. They're just going to find a way to blame and shame you. And when one person refuses to say sorry, they never take responsibility, and they don't learn from their behaviour. Therefore, they don't change their behaviour. Holding grudges, which is a natural defence mechanism, and narcissistic people tend to hold many grudges against others for the very things those narcissists did to others, which is why they are very bitter, resentful, cynical people that seek to destroy others, because they're holding so many grudges against people. With a narcissist, they can get you to a point where you will be holding grudges against them, which is why we do have to let these things go, because by us holding a grudge against them, they still have control over our emotions, and it causes those negative emotions within us. We kind of have to recognise that it's who they are as a person, that it's how they behave, that it's nothing we did, it's just what they did. It's who they are. It's a choice they make, and it's very difficult to let go. However, for our own good, most of us need to let go. Some people can use those grudges as a driving force behind them to achieve something that doesn't cause any sort of toxicity within their life. So some people do need that to spur them on to attain something for themselves. We are individuals. 7, refusal to communicate, refusal to listen. And when someone refuses to listen to you, it makes you feel less than. When someone refuses to communicate with you, nothing ever gets resolved. When they refuse to apologise, nothing ever gets resolved. When they refuse to compromise, nothing ever gets resolved. And things keep cycling back round. There's no growth in the relationship. 8, seeking validation outside of the relationship. A narcissist would rather impress a stranger than care for their own family. Narcissistic people are looking for that excessive admiration, and if they're not getting it in the home due to the very nature of the disorder, they seek it elsewhere. So when they're refusing to communicate with you, when they're refusing to compromise with you, when they're refusing to say sorry to you because they've lied to you or cheated on you, instead of discussing things and working things out, because they're not getting the attention, unless they can provoke those negative reactions from you, they're not getting the attention they believe they're entitled to. So they're going to seek that external validation elsewhere. They're going to be talking badly of you to others to make themselves feel like they're in the right and that it's you that's in the wrong. 9, always putting themselves first. And a narcissistic person will often put themselves first, and then whenever you try to say no to them, whenever you have something else on, they're going to accuse you of being the awkward, the selfish and the stubborn one. And then when you feel bad, when you question, am I being awkward? Am I being selfish? Am I being stubborn? Is it me? You have the ability to recognise your behaviour and question your behaviour, which they are relying on, so that you change your no's into a yes to serve them. However, you're not allowed to call a narcissistic person these things. They take offence to this because they feel entitled to do as they please. Any behaviours you noticed in a toxic relationship which is doomed for failure, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.